Hi everyone, my name is Autumn. I'm the Director of Education here at the Akron Zoo, and welcome to our first Lunch and Learn. This is our way of maybe giving you guys an opportunity to have lunch and a little bit of information while you see some of our animals here at the Akron Zoo. Now today we are at the snow leopard habitat, and we're attempting to give them their enrichment for the day. And we never go in directly with animals that could be dangerous if we're in the same space at the same time. So they were shifted back into their bedrooms, and the keepers came and placed the enrichment inside their habitat. They do have a St. Patrick's Day banner. The wind was not very cooperative with us today, so that has blown down. And then we also have something that we call a boomer ball in their habitat. Now this boomer ball is made of really thick, tough plastic. And you can see with the smaller one that they can still get their teeth and their claws right into that. Now, it is completely up to the animals on if they want to come back out and check it out. So far, they have decided that they're more interested in what's happening inside. So we'll give them a couple of minutes to see if they will choose to come out. Looks like somebody walked by the door and kept walking.
Autumn, Krista wants to know what the snow leopards' names are.
So our two snow leopards that we will hopefully get out today is Shanti. Shanti is a 12-year-old female, and her daughter Baya. Baya will be 1 year old June of this year. April of this year. Shanti's birthday is in June. So if they come out, you will see Shanti and Baya. Now we do have another snow leopard, our male, and his name is Tai Lung. And he is not going to be out with the ladies today. Snow leopards are solitary, so that they often do not hang out with each other. Now, sometimes because our snow leopards, they don't read the books and don't know that they're supposed to be solitary. Sometimes ours do like to hang out with each other every once in a while. And so if they're in that mode, we will let them hang out. But right now, because the cub is still here, we do say cub. Cubs will stay with mom for up to 2 years, but dad won't be with them during that time. So,
Autumn, Zayden, who is 6 years old, would like to know how much snow leopards eat every day.
Oh, Zayden, good question. So I'm not really sure how much our snow leopards eat each day. Generally, we look at kind of the weight in pounds, and they get something, it's a commercially produced meat product, kind of looks like hamburger. And depending on the weight of the snow leopard, kind of determines how much they get. So Shanti is around 80, 85 pounds. So she is not going to get something very weighty, maybe about 2 to 3 pounds, but we will check with a keeper and confirm that.
Graceland, I don't know if you caught the answer to your question about what snow leopards have for lunch. So they do eat that meat product called Nebraska.
Yes, so they eat that. They do have a kind of a mixed diet. So 1 day a week, they will get a bone. It's usually a big cow bone. And that's not so much for them to eat as that's their dentist day. So that's the day that bone, as they chew on it, it helps take care of their teeth, keeps their teeth healthy, cleans it up, and it gives them some good vitamins from the bone marrow in there as well.
So Chase wants to know what their favorite food is.
Oh.
So I happen to know that Shanti's favorite food is chicken. She likes to eat an entire chicken.
So yeah, it's really interesting. So just like people have their favorite foods, we find that animals are very individual, and each one will have their favorites as well. So Shanti apparently is all about chicken. And so that'll be a treat for her when she's doing training. She may get chicken as her special training treat as well.
So Sophie would like to know where snow leopards come from.
So snow leopards, you can find them out in nature in the Himalayan mountains. And that's going to be kind of north of India, Asia, Pakistan area. They love it where it's really rocky. So if you look at their habitat here that we designed for them, the Akron Zoo, their habitat is designed to be more tall than it is to be running space because they're really good at climbing rocky areas.
So Addison would like to know how old the snow leopards are, if you wouldn't mind repeating that.
So Shanti will be, this coming June, she will be 12 years old, and Baya will be 1 year old in April.
There they
They're
are.
peeking out. They're thinking about it. Slowly coming. So if you're looking at, Baya stuck her head back in. Shanti is now out because she is hearing one of her favorite keepers calling her name. So she's coming to check that out. Now Baya's like, if mom says it's okay, I'm going to check it out too.
So Joshua wants to know how sharp their claws are.
Joshua, good question. How sharp are their claws? Their claws are very sharp. If you look at the hard plastic boomer ball that's in their habitat, you can see the scratches that their claws have made. And that's really important that their claws are sharp because that's going to help them catch their food. And you can look and see that they've got really big feet. Those feet are going to help them climb those rocks. And a weird thing about snow leopards, because they live in the snow, their feet, the bottoms, the pads of their feet actually sweat. So that will help them get better traction when they're walking through the snow. Now Baya's going over onto her scratching log, working on making sure that her claws are staying in good condition. But she's wondering where mom went, so she's going back to check on them.
Katie, we'll see about getting these videos on YouTube for you. And Danny would like to know if summer weather bugs the snow leopards.
Ooh, summer weather. Yes, they don't like it when it's really hot. If you come to the zoo when it gets into the 80s or 90s, they're definitely not going to be as active. So we have to do some things to make sure that they're comfortable. So this big rock here in the center of their habitat, it actually can be heated during the winter. It can be slightly cooled during the summer. And we'll put ice into their habitat so that they can sit on it. Last summer, we saw Baya just licking the ice over and over. She really liked hanging out with the ice. We also may give them an enrichment like what they have today, where we might take pieces of meat, put them in a bowl, fill that bowl up with water, and then put it in the freezer so that they have to lick and work through that ice during the summertime to get down to their treat. So that helps keep them cool. It's enrichment, so it keeps them engaged and active, trying to figure out how they can get to their food.
So was Shanti born here at the Akron Zoo?
So Shanti was not born here at the Akron Zoo. She came here when she was just over a year old. She was born at the Binder Park Zoo, which is in Michigan. So she was born there. She was actually, her mom was not good at being a mom. So she had to be hand raised when she was very young. She was paired with a dog to help her socialize. And when Shanti had her first set of cubs, we were like, is she going to know how to be a mom? But she is an amazing mom. To watch her, she has had 3 sets of cubs. Baya is her 4th, but Baya is a single birth, so Baya is a single kid. And Baya definitely likes to play with mom. It looks like Baya might be thinking about attacking mom. She's gonna sneak up. So notice how she gets all nice and low to the ground so she can jump and get that power when she comes up. Oh yeah, she's got her eye on mom. She's thinking about it. My guess is mom probably knows it's getting ready to happen.
So what is the snow leopard's lifespan? Teresa would like to know.
All right, Teresa. Well, their lifespan, real quick, before I do that, you can see Shanti. That's a way that they mark their territory is by using their back feet. So Shanti is claiming that banner as hers. So their lifespan, getting back to Teresa's question, is out in nature, snow leopards will live around 11 to 12 years. In zoos, they can live up to 18 years. So Baya is super young. Shanti's probably close to middle age right now.
So Lizzie would like to know why they like the rocks in their habitat.
Oh, why do they like the rocks in their habitat? This would be similar habitat to what you would find snow leopards living in nature. They love to climb rocks. If Shanti decides to go up to the top of her rock, it is fascinating to watch how quickly she can get all the way up at the top. I saw her jump down from the top one day. My heart stopped for a minute, but she didn't seem to be at all concerned because it looks like that top is pretty high. So yes, that's why there's rocks in their habitat. It's something that they would be living in nature on.
So Skylar would like to know what the snow leopards do for fun.
So what do snow leopards do for fun? Well, they do a lot of play. As they get older, there's probably less play involved. They do like to play with each other, especially Baya is getting in Shanti's way right now as she keeps trying to attack Mom. One of the things that they do seem to really enjoy is their training sessions. The training sessions give them an opportunity to really solve puzzles, and it lets them get some of their favorite treats. Oh, and it lets them interact with their keepers, which they do have a great relationship with.
So Eli would like to know how she plays. And
So-
there's a great example
Right
for
there.
you.
So Baya is going to play a lot right now. Her play is really practice. She is practicing to be a top predator. So all those skills she's going to need to catch food is how she plays now. She's going to be sneaking up onto Mom. She's going to be getting low to the ground. She's going to be jumping and trying to grab onto Mom. And to us, it looks like play, and she's probably having fun doing it, but it's helping her build those important skills for later in life. All right, so now Shanti has gone all the way to the top. She likes hanging out up there. I think she can have a great view of everything here going on at the zoo and even into downtown Akron.
So Hallie would like to know, are their spots different like giraffes?
That's a really good question. Yes, their spots are unique to each individual. And a lot of times that's how when Shanti has had her cubs in the past, we will look at the spots on their head, and that's how we can tell them apart, is by examining those spots.
Carter would like to know how fast they can run.
That's a good question, Carter. So they're not like a cheetah that's going to do a flat out speed over a flat surface. So I'm not sure if they've ever been clocked. I don't know how fast they run because a lot of what they're chasing is going to be on the side of a mountain.
And so Kimberly is asking again how long their lifespan is.
All right, Kimberly, their lifespan here in zoos, they'll live up to 18 years. Out in nature, they will live generally somewhere around 11 to 12 years. And I do have a follow-up for Carter's question. They can run 55 miles per hour.
How far can they hear? Sheila would like to know.
Ooh, how far can they hear? We're gonna have to check that out, Sheila. They do have good hearing, but their eyesight is what they're gonna rely on the most. They have very good vision.
So Bunny would like to know, if the leopards are born in the zoo, will they ever be released into the wild?
That's a good question. Well, there's a couple of concerns if we start thinking about getting these guys back out into their native habitat. The first is, where do we put them? Snow leopards in nature, they have about 100 square mile range because that's how much space they need to get all of their resources. Now here at the zoo, they're able to get their resources. So we wouldn't want to put them into a space that they'd be competing with another snow leopard. They also haven't learned how to catch their native food because they haven't had a chance to hunt here at the Akron Zoo. They may have had a chance on some little things that fly into their habitat, let's say. The other concern for them is that there's still a lot of issues with hunting of snow leopards in nature. So if we were to put them back out there, there's no guarantee that they would be able to survive. So I think first what we need to do is figure out how we make sure that their habitat can support them if they were to go back out into nature. And right now, habitat is shrinking and there are dangers for them out there as far as being hunted for their fur or because people might be afraid that they're going to go after their livestock.
So Olivia, all the way from Texas, wants to know if they need to live in a colder area.
Hi, Olivia from Texas. So they do prefer to live in a cold environment. They've got that thick fur. That thick fur helps keep them warm. As I said earlier, the bottom of their feet actually sweat so that they can walk on the snow and have a good grip to that. But here at the zoo, it does get warm sometimes, maybe not as warm as Texas, but we do things to help them adapt to the warmer weather here. Like give them ice. That's a big thing that we do. We let them hang out inside in the air conditioning. They really like to do that.
So Lucas wants to know what their favorite toy is.
Ooh, their favorite toy. So their favorite toy is most likely going to be the boomer balls. And those are those two that you see already in their habitat. There's a large green one. Sometimes they'll play with it, just like I'm sure sometimes you have a favorite toy, but you don't play with it 100% of the time. So they do like to get in there and roll and push and chase those boomer balls around.
Hunter would like to know how much they weigh.
So Baya is about 50 pounds and Shanti right now is about 88 pounds.
Zayden wants to know if they can have babies all year round or just certain times of the year.
So, good question. So they have a certain time of the year that they can have babies. And it's generally in our spring here, which would be their spring as well.
Emily would like to know if they like to play with each other.
They do like to play with each other. Baya was a single birth, so generally snow leopards will have 2 to 3 cubs, but kind of on occasion have single cubs, which means that Baya wants to play with mom a lot. And mom has, with Baya almost a year old, mom isn't as into the playing as she was when Baya was younger. So they do like to play with each other. When mom gets tired of the play, she goes up to the very top of her habitat because Baya hasn't quite figured out how to get up there yet. So that lets mom have some her alone time.
So Gwen would like to know why they have spots.
Oh, Gwen wants to know why they have spots. Well, the coloration on their body, so their fur and their spots, are all designed to help them blend into their habitat. Now, here at the Akron Zoo, we've made a habitat with rocks, and these would be kind of similar to what you would see out in their native habitat. And so from far away, a prey animal might not know if it's a rock or if it's really a snow leopard there. So they blend in really well, and those spots help them do that. Right now we can see Baya is grooming. So cats will spend a part of their day doing grooming, making sure that they are clean. They check out if there's anything stuck in their feet. They'll work on getting that out. Snow leopards have a rough tongue, just like your domestic cat at home might have. So that's going to help them groom as well.
So again, we had the question, Anne-Marie would like to know how long snow leopards live, and Joyce would like to know how old Shanti is.
Okay, so snow leopards, generally you'll find them living out in nature to about 11 or 12 years old. Shanti will be 12 years old this coming June. But here in zoos, they can actually live up to 18 years. So here in zoos, they're guaranteed supper, dinner every day. They get house calls from the doctor. So they have a pretty cushy life here at the zoo, being able to have access to all those that care service. The keepers take fantastic care of them, so they have it pretty easy here.
So Hallie is asking a question again about are the spots different on snow leopards like they are giraffes?
Yeah, so are the spots unique to each snow leopard like in giraffes? Absolutely. Their spot pattern will be unique to each individual. And when we have cubs, that's often how we determine, kind of tell them apart, is by looking at their spot pattern.
So Danny is asking what kind of dog Shanti was paired with when she was a cub. That's a really good question.
Good question. I'm talking with one of our keepers here, Tyler, helping me with that.
Hi,
so
Tyler.
I wasn't quite sure. And so Tyler says we think it was a basset hound or some type of hound. Maybe we can find out exactly from our friends at Binder Park Zoo later today.
Ooh, Miles would like to know how tall snow leopards are.
So when we measure snow leopards, for their height, we'll kind of measure them at their shoulder. So from the side of their shoulder down to their feet. And so we can actually, snow leopards may grow to be about 4 to 5 feet tall at their feet. Or from their feet to their shoulder. That'd be a big snow leopard though. That's length, sorry. We're Googling this right now. We're looking it up. So the length, probably from their nose to the end of their body, is going to be 4 to 5 feet. We're looking at their height, probably somewhere around 2.5 to 3 feet. So they're not a super big cat. They're actually, as a big cat, they're on the small side.
So Joyce and Nate would like to know what snow leopards eat.
So snow leopards out in nature are predators. So they're going to catch, mainly they're looking for things that they might find climbing up in the mountains. Himalayan tar, which are a type of goat, which we do have living right next to the snow leopards, are one of their main food sources. So these guys are also really good at climbing on rocks, and this would be something that a snow leopard would chase and catch. Now here at the zoo, they don't catch or eat. Our hill might be tougher in some cases here than the snow leopards. But here at the zoo, we feed them a commercially produced diet. It's called Nebraska, and it looks very much like ground beef.
So Roberto wants to know if they can climb trees.
Yes, they can climb trees. They're good at it. We have to keep close eye on the trees that we have in their habitat because if they decide, they can get up there. So we make sure that we keep them trimmed so that nobody gets hurt if they climb their tree.
Do snow leopards enjoy water? June is asking.
Where snow leopards live in nature, there's not going to be a lot of water around. So sometimes we may give them a pool, but it's not something that they really enjoy spending time in. They may walk through it real quick or get drink from it, but that's about it. They're not real swimmers.
Landon would like to know if Shanti and Baya are related.
Oh, Landon wants to know if Shanti and Baya are related. Yes, Shanti is Baya's mom. And Baya will be 1 year old this coming April. So she's not quite a year yet. We still call her a cub, although she's pretty much as full grown as Shanti. She's got a couple more pounds to put on before she gets as big as Shanti though. But she will stay here. Usually cubs will stay with mom for about 1 year to 2 years. And somewhere in that time, out in nature, they'll go off on their own. Snow leopards are solitary. So because these guys are an endangered species, they're part of the species survival plan here in AZA zoos. So Baya will find a boyfriend at another zoo and will probably go live with him by the time she's 2.
Both Xander and Kelly are asking if snow leopards are endangered.
Ooh, yes, snow leopards are endangered. Couple of things are happening. So there's a lot of habitat loss. So as we develop spaces, or they live in the Himalayan mountains, they lose less space. Even the animals that they eat will lose space. And as there's less animals for them to feed on, they have to extend their range to a larger area to find that food. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is people are sometimes afraid that snow leopards are going to catch their livestock and kill their livestock. So they may kill snow leopards to protect their livelihood with their livestock. And in the past, they have been hunted for their fur. They've got a beautiful cream, kind of tan colored coat with those black spots. So because of those reasons, there's only maybe around anywhere from 3,000 to about 7,000 left in nature. And in zoos, I believe there's about 200 to 300 currently in zoos that are part of the breeding program.
All right, we've got time for about one more question. We'll continue to answer your questions in the comments below, so if you're continuing to ask questions. But for the last live question, Michael is asking why snow leopards are not given live prey as enrichment.
Oh, that's a good question. So why don't we give our snow leopards here live prey? Well, a couple things can happen. Is that many times when a predator is chasing prey out in nature, the predator can actually get hurt during that process. So we obviously don't want our animals to get hurt just getting dinner. There's also some questions about how nice of that is for live prey. If we were to put a live prey in here, there's concerns of maybe that's not the nicest thing for that prey animal. So because of those reasons, we don't give them live prey. Now we do give the snow leopards once a week a whole food item. So that would be a whole prey item. But similar to how you might go to your freezer and take chicken out, defrost it and cook it for dinner, that's how they get their item. We go into the freezer, we take it out, defrost it, and then they get that item. And it's important for them because everything in that is good for them. The fur of that whole prey item is like fiber. It kind of keeps them regular and active when they go to the bathroom. There's bones in there, which gives them great calcium. So all of that is really important for them. So they do get that nutrients one day a week. Now, we do feed them almost every day. They have one fast day where they get a bone, and that's how they take care of their teeth. Now, out in nature, they are not guaranteed to catch food every day. So that is something that they might catch food maybe once a week, and then they'll gorge on that food so that it can last them the rest of that week. So it's a little bit different here. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us on our Lunch and Learn. We hope you learned a little bit, and we will see you again tomorrow at noon, and we will explore another animal here at the zoo. So thanks for joining us. Have a great day.